Alright, well, it's February here in Maryland, and since it continues to snow and the temperature refuses to get much above the mid-30s, I've decided to film a little bit about the snakes that I keep inside my home. Alright, so when I was a kid I used to keep a lot of snakes as pets, but unfortunately most of them managed to escape their enclosures. But since I've gotten older, I decided to restart my collection. This one here is a Tangerine Honduran milk snake that I got about 5 years ago. It's a male. I named him Nigel. I acquired him from a breeder at the North American Reptile Breeders Conference, where I actually got to meet Nigel Marvin. So that's where he gets his name. He was a tricolor. He's got quite a bit of black flecking now, but I'm hoping someday to breed him. I just recently acquired a female Tangerine Honduran last year, and let me go ahead and show her to you as well. Alright, in this cage here is my female Tangerine Honduran milk snake. See if I can get her out. She's a little squirrely. Ooh, there she is. But she is now about a year old. She's gotten pretty good size in her first year. She's actually got a lot more black on her yellow. She is also a tricolor Tangerine Honduran milk snake. Your typical Tangerine Hondurans will usually have a red, black, and orange pattern, but the tricolors exhibit more of a yellow. And she's also got a lot of black flecking going on, but hopefully in about 2 or 3 years here she will be of breedable size and I will have my first clutch of milk snakes. Alright, now moving on to my rack system where I keep my ball pythons, and this is my first large female. She's actually in shed right now, and she may actually be in her pre-lay shed. I paired her up to a male bumblebee. So here she is. She's all balled up here. But I'm hoping it's her pre-lay shed. I let her run through my hands the other day and I could feel eggs inside of her. So as time moves on, and if she does lay, I'll be back with an update on that. But there she is. Alright, moving on. In here I actually have another ball python. It's a year-old male. It's actually just a normal that I picked up from someone. So here he is. I just thought he had kind of a cool pattern. There's a nice kind of stripe on him. And I picked him up from someone who just no longer wanted to care for him anymore. So he's kind of a rescue situation. So he gets to live with me now. And put his hide back. So aside from him, I actually also picked up a female pastel. She's in here. She is also about a year old. So she gets a little grumpy sometimes, so I'm gonna reach in here and get her out. She's got pretty good color, pretty high yellow on the sides for a regular pastel. Been pretty happy with her as she's growing, and every time she sheds I expect a little bit more color to go, but it looks like she's retaining a lot of it. So someday I hope to cross her possibly with my male bumblebee. And let me get him out here to show you. Now this here is my male bumblebee ball python. He is about 2.5 years old. He'll be 3 this summer. But he actually is the one that I paired up to that normal, which is hopefully in her pre-lay shed right now. So hopefully in about 30 days I'll see eggs from her. But he's actually done really well. I picked him up from a friend who actually breeds ball pythons, and he's kind of helped me along and get into it, and anytime I've had questions I've always been able to ask him. But he's retained a really beautiful yellow. I mean, some bumblebees will brown out a little bit. I can show you here. He's got a little bit of kind of darker flecking going on here. I don't know if you can see that real well or not, but other than that, kind of retained a nice high yellow. So he's got pretty good color, and I'm hoping that he will be able to produce some babies that are just as beautiful as he is. To my last 2 ball pythons that I have in my collection. Both of these are only a couple months old. So let me go ahead and pull them out. They're both females. In this tank here, I have a female pinstripe. Pull her out. She's new to my collection. I just got her back in September. But I really like her. I kind of gravitated towards her when I saw her at a reptile show. She's got really excellent pattern. Very blotchy. Kind of like the really thin, narrow stripes. I was thinking, you know, between this and getting a lesser, and I don't know, this one I just really liked it a lot. I like there's, you know, some contrast between the saddles on the sides are nice and dark and the top's really a light tan. So I just had to have her when I saw her. Let me stick her back in her perspective cage and move on to my next cage here. These tiles I keep on there to help keep in humidity. I just don't have room in my rack for all of these snakes, and hopefully one of these days I'll add another rack on, but for now I have to make do with what I have. This here is my Mojave Spider, which I also picked up from the same gentleman who I got the bumblebee from. And I've had her for about a year now. She had a little bit of an issue. She had quite a bit of head wobble when she was young, which is a common trait in anything with the spider gene, but hers was pretty bad. It took me a while to really get her eating well. So I feel she's a little undersized for her age, but right now I've got her eating frozen thawed pretty much straight out of my hand. It took her a while to kind of turn around, but she's doing really well now, and I hope to someday breed her and get some really cool snakes. Hopefully in the near future, my female ball python will lay her eggs, and I'll be adding a few more to my collection. Until then, we're stuck inside with the cold and the snow outside while we wait patiently for it to warm up and for some rain to come to get the amphibian migration started and start our spring and 2014 herping season. Until then, stay tuned for more episodes on my channel, or check out camochairproductions.com to watch other herping videos.